Patriots and Packers are almost ready for their big-time showdown, a potential Super Bowl preview very early here, or late in November, a little early to talk about the Super Bowl, but we're going to do it anyway. Once again, if you missed our last video, we're live here from the Herald office, or not live, but a little production secret. We shoot these things early in the week, and there just so happens to be an apocalyptic snowstorm out there right now. So anyway, the three biggest key areas for the Patriots to come away with a win in Green Bay. Number one, I think because these two teams, it's strange how similar these two teams are in a lot of different ways, but the Packers are just a terrific home team. Lambeau Field is not going to beat the Patriots. The fans screaming is not going to beat the Patriots, but I think you've heard a lot already this week. The players are excited to go to Lambeau. They understand the history and the importance, and this is going to be the first time for a lot of guys playing in that stadium. They know how good the Packers are, and I think because of that, it's important to get out to a good start.
Without question, and the Packers are a fast-starting team, and lots of teams that have gone in there have been, the game's been over by halftime and sometimes by the second quarter. That's how the Packers just kind of steamroll. The Patriots don't want that to happen. To prevent that, they're going to have to start fast themselves and kind of, jockey with them or stay with them, or, maybe get out on top of them. That'll take the crowd out of it, and it'll get the Packers out of their usual rhythm at home, which is basically score, 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 and then coast.
Yeah, and you looked at last week. It was actually a break from the norm for the Patriots when they started the game with 2 3-and-outs. It was the first time since, Kansas City when they didn't score first. You can't really get away with that sort of stuff on the road against the Packers, and that kind of leads into our next point. The running game is going to be really important for the Patriots. The Packers are 30th against the run now, and that's actually been an improvement. Through 8 weeks, they had the worst run defense in the league, and I think really the only reason why that number has improved so drastically is because they blew out the Bears and somebody else so quickly.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Eagles. They blew out 2 teams so quickly, so decisively, that they just had to abandon the run. So it could be a huge week for LeGarrette Blount in his second game back. It might be another huge week for Jonas Gray after last week's benching, or apparent benching. And again, this is a team that I think you can run all over, and teams have done it to the Packers throughout the season.
Without question, and it's important to have your running game this time of year in that type of location. Not quite sure what the weather's going to be like, but we know it's going to be cold. There could be snow. The Patriots do play well in bad weather. They do throw the ball in bad weather, but it's still a good idea to be able to run the ball and to run it efficiently and effectively.
Remember, that Colts run defense was ranked 9th going into that game, and the Patriots still ran for 250 yards against them. So this is, by comparison, you would think they'll be able to run it right down the Packers' throats. And number 3, it's a strange matchup because they're so good in the passing game. Aaron Rodgers is unbelievable. He's so much better than Andrew Luck. Just watching his games this season, if he misses a guy, it's by like a couple feet, as opposed to when Andrew Luck misses a guy, it's by, it's on the other side of the stadium. So, and they only have 2 really legitimate receivers. Now, Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb are terrific players, but the drop-off from there is really substantial. This could be, this is a relative term, this could be a fairly easy type of game to prepare for when you've got Revis and Browner playing as well as they are.
I mean, that's the beauty of having Revis and Browner, is that pretty much all year long they've been able to take care of the number 1 and number 2 options on these big-time offenses. They did it last week against the Lions. They did it the week before against the Colts. They did it with the Broncos. The key for these teams is, do you have a number 3 option? Do you have a number 3 and 4 options? Because basically 1 and 2 has been eliminated. It makes sense that Nelson and Cobb should be fairly well covered by Revis and Browner. If not Revis and Browner, then Revis and Arrington, depending on who the Patriots think the better matchup is with those 2. And then after that, it'll be up to a tight end, a running back, or somebody else to try and deliver some offense. The Lions didn't have it. Eric Ebron didn't produce. The Colts didn't have it. I mean, they had Kobe Fleener, but they just couldn't generate enough offense to beat the Patriots once they basically got put on the island.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And more often than not, if you have to rely on your third and fourth target to beat the Patriots offense on the other side of the thing is already racing away to a blowout victory, as we've seen so often in the last couple months. So we'll see how the Patriots handle these three key areas in Sunday's big game. If they beat the Packers in convincing fashion, the way that they've disposed of the division leaders that they've beaten by 3+ touchdowns during this winning streak, my goodness. I mean, when you talk about NFL power rankings, there's going to be the Patriots up here, and then how far do you go before you really put the number 2 team? Because this team is rolling right now, and it's impressive. You can follow all of our work leading up to and running through the game on BostonHerald.com and the Blitz blog.